Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Age of Empires. Yes, I know I haven't posted anything about this game in a while, but this game was also never a priority on this channel. Don't you worry, the Regiments campaign is coming, but I'm currently waiting for a reply from the publisher of the game, whether I can use the in-game music or not. And I've decided to give it a couple more days to wait for a reply, otherwise I will simply make the videos without the in-game music. And therefore, we are now jumping back into our Glory of Greece campaign.
Over the past several centuries, the Greek city-states have expanded their influence both in Hellas and overseas. Now, a powerful coalition led by the dual monarchy of Sparta is challenging your city-state of Athens for dominance in a conflict that has lasted 3 decades. In the wake of the disastrous Sicilian expedition, Sparta has seized the initiative, claiming several key victories and drawing ever closer to Athens. You have no hope of defeating the battle-hardened Spartans in the field at present, but there is a chance that you may be able to defend the city long enough for reinforcements and supplies to arrive and turn the tide in your favor. The Spartan army is reliant on a large baggage train of supplies. If it is captured, their siege will be delayed considerably.
And our objective for this fight is to capture the Spartan baggage train, represented by 4 artifacts. And we are supposed to get all of our villages within the city walls of Athens before it is too late. We have to maintain the strength of our fortifications at all costs, and we are advised to send villagers overseas to gather resources to supply our army. And with that, it begins. We are informed that we have some scouts over there. Let's get them back. Let's also make sure we select all of our villages.
Rogan?
And try to get them down here where we can easily send them overseas. We have a transport ship and we have a couple of other units. Let's make sure that we can use all of our people. We have some centurions. Let's order them to stay in the defensive stance.
Rogan?
And we do not have enough stone for a couple towers, but we should have enough wood for an academy so that we can train up a couple fresh units. And the majority of our boys, with the exception of maybe 3 or so, are going to be sent overseas. In the meantime, the enemy army is going to destroy whatever we have left of fortifications. There is another guy over here that we need to get over. And our villagers have arrived on new shores. We have an enemy ship that we have to destroy. And let's figure out if we have some resource deposits over here. Okay, we have some gold. Let's get down a town center. Where is it? And with that we are hopefully able to gather enough supplies to get our siege defenses going. In the meantime we can see that heavy cavalry is trying to probe our attacks. And our buildings are going to give us a little bit more cover. This fishing boat I want to get over here. Further to the north there should also be some fishing grounds and it should be easier for us to defend that. We're now getting some gold, we're getting some wood. Let's get our ships back to our main base. And we have stone over here. I'm going to send a couple people over to make sure that we can use this stone. And in the meantime we have to hope that our ballista towers are able to destroy some of their more elite forces while they are focusing on less valuable targets. The enemy is upon us. We have some resources in gold and food that I am going to use. And for now we are somewhat holding. Let's hope that we can keep it together long enough. Our villagers have landed. Let's quickly make sure that we can gather the needed stones so that we can build more and more towers. Because it currently looks like we are losing. At the moment we can see that the Spartans are absolutely kicking our butts. But not all is lost. If we lose this city, we will have to come back later. It is going to be a massive slog. Yep, we are now losing heart. We have a couple more villagers, we have a couple people that we can send out to save. And we need to make sure that our ships are protected. We still have our own ships that we're going to send out. And it looks like down here maybe these two towers are able to defend. If we are able to focus fire a bit. Where's our transport? There it is. Let's get everyone loaded up that we can still get on. And now it is time to set our sights on greener pastures. Because as it looks like, it is not coded in a way that we actually have to hold these positions. I think we just need to defend the enemy, and as long as we do not lose everyone, we should be more than capable to do so. And I think I will cut back to you once our economy is up and running again. Because we have had a slight step back. We have basically lost the entirety of the city of Athens. We still have a small holdout over here. We can still recruit. So theoretically not all is lost. Let's also build up a tower over here and a nice little wall to make sure that we officially do not lose the hill. That is vital for our survival. And we can see that there is the catapult. One of our soldiers is taking care of that. Wonderful. But it is only going to be so long until we have lost the entirety of the city. And as it looks like, we were actually able to hold the enemy back. There are still multiple enemy forces in our proximity. Let's get over here some bowmen out if we can. We are lacking food supplies. And this centurion has barely survived. We are going to gather our forces over here. We are going to use this as a recruitment hub, as it looks like the enemy has lost sight on us. And for now we simply have to wait until our economy is up and running again. Okay, it has been a short while. We have regrouped our forces. We were able to hold onto the city. And now it is time to push forward again. But we are of course also going to build one or two towers to defend us. And now our forces can move out. We are going to take a couple casualties, and we already have a couple more people lined up as reinforcements. So it shouldn't be too bad. We know that the enemy has a catapult. There it is. And a bunch more foot soldiers. Can we break through the catapult? No, presumably not. But we should be able to at least deal with a bunch of the enemy forces. And now it is time to hunt this catapult. How many people are going to die doing that? Place your bets now. And there we have it. Now we only need to find those bloody supplies. They are potentially at the end of this road. And I do not know how many people the enemy has in reserve, but we already have 6 or 7 centurions left that have been recruited in the meantime. These guys are potentially all going to die, but they're going to weaken the field for the next wave. Oh, that guy is still alive. Please fix that. And we have successfully defeated the Spartan army. Can this lone soldier figure out where the enemy is? Well, it does not look like it. Let's now get a couple more people out. These boys, please gather over here. And now it is time to send forward the next wave of centurions. And we have found the enemy baggage train. They have a bunch of artillery in the area. Maybe if we lose all of these people, we will have to recruit a bunch of cavalry ourselves, so that it can take out those artillery pieces. But maybe we are able to capture the first parts of the enemy baggage train. Come on, you guys, push through. And it looks like this was the next wave dealt with from our side, of course. We are going to need some time to rebuild from that. Let's make sure we continue our gold production. The next wave of volunteers is ready and we are sending them south. I'm now also beginning the production of some cataphracts, but it is going to take some time until they are ready in sufficient numbers, so maybe this wave alone is going to be enough to get through the enemy. We will see and we will find out. And if they are not able to punch through, there is always a next wave. Let's get these boys forward on the enemy artillery. The rest has the job of securing those artifacts. Are you guys able to get through? I kind of doubt it. Doesn't look like it. We have destroyed one of those catapults. The rest is still standing, but we have captured one of their supplies. And the next one, and the next one, and here goes the fourth.
Your intrepid defense has thus far parried the assaults of the feared Spartan alliance. Deprived of their supply train, the Spartans grow discouraged as they watch ships bringing provisions into Athens each day. In frustration, they have turned to pillaging the nearby countryside, while your citizens watch them from the safety of the high walls of their citadel. This jubilation is not to last, however. Word has finally reached Athens of the Spartan victory at Aigos Potami and the destruction of the Athenian fleet. Without a navy, it will not be long before your supply lines in turn are cut. Perhaps the Spartans will be willing to negotiate a peaceful settlement to the war.
And with that, we have officially won. We had the second strongest military, we had the strongest economy, and the most religion, which is not surprising as the enemy didn't have a base. We were able to kill the most enemies, but we have also sustained the most losses, and all of the other tabs do not count as the enemy wasn't able to build up anything in economy, religion or technology. Over here we can see our timeline and we can see that the Spartan army has lost long before the battle was officially won. And now it is time to look into the history of that ancient conflict. By the 5th century BCE, the region of Hellas, as the Greeks called modern-day Greece, was dominated by a number of several powerful city-states, such as Athens, Sparta, Thebes and Corinth. These city-states tended to compete with each other economically, militarily and culturally, but were briefly galvanized by a pair of dangerous invasions conducted by the Achaemenid Empire. This period was termed as the Persian Wars and yielded some of the most popular narratives to come out of the classical era, such as the heroic but doomed defense of the coastal passages of Thermopylae by King Leonidas of Sparta and his 300 warriors. In the wake of the victory over the Persians, the Greek city-states flourished and expanded their influence further than ever before. Two city-states arose prominence during this time. Athens was the leader of the powerful Delian League, a thalassocracy of city-states and territories that encompassed much of the Aegean Sea, dominating the economic climate of the region and boasting quite possibly the most powerful navy in the Mediterranean scene to date. Sparta, on the other hand, headed the fearsome Peloponnesian League, a formidable land-based power built on a slave economy and rigorous military training. Although the focus of each alliance was largely different, the tension between them began to increase as time went on. By 431 BCE, a Theban-Spartan attack on Plataea, an Athenian ally, had drawn the Delian and the Peloponnesian League into a deadly war that would last nearly 30 years. Thucydides' vivid account of the events of the entire Peloponnesian War demonstrates considerably early success on the part of the Athenian navy, a success that was nevertheless tempered by the effect of a devastating plague that ravaged Attica, killing roughly half of its population. The conflict carried on for years with relatively equal victories and defeats seen by both sides, but the balance was tipped by the folly of the disastrous Sicilian expedition of 415 to 413 BCE, which cost Athens 100 triumphs, 30,000 oarsmen, and virtually a generation of citizen soldiers. Their military power was crippled considerably. Although Athens attempted to recover over the next several years, the Spartans were able to push into Attica while simultaneously defeating the Athenian navy at Iagos Potami in 405 BCE. Its naval supply cut, the city of Athens had no choice but to surrender to the besieging Spartans, who humbled the once great power and ended the war. Internal difficulties plagued the Peloponnesian League, however, and democracy was soon restored to Athens. And with that ends this episode of our Glory of Greece campaign. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and I thank you all for watching. And until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.